Okay na ta, ani, 'di ba? I know I promised that I'm gonna have an activity today, but I decided last night to postpone it and put it on Friday. Okay ra mo ani nga agenda, guys? Is it okay? Are we good? Okay. Para natin discussion, guys. This is the last topic na give for discussion, and then we're gonna have the activity na lang on Friday, and then relax na ta next week, 'di ba? So kanyo na lang para mahuman na kita sa mga content material on UTS. Sige, let's continue with the digital self. Start na ta ha, kaya para taas-taas, as you can see, taas-taas pa ta na yung kuan. Taas-taas pa tag buhatonon this morning. Okay. So, digital self. Unsa kitong digital self, guys? What is digital self again? How did we define digital self last time? It's the what? Anyone who can recap how we define digital self? Unsa kitong digital self, guys? Yes,
Um,
Risha.
it is how we present ourselves digitally, or specifically in social media, miss.
Okay, how we present ourselves, specifically on social media. Thank you for that, Risha. So it's our online persona, how we perceive, how we project ourselves online, who we are virtually. Okay, that's basically how we define digital self. So we will continue. Of course, diba, with being online, namgi mga online interactions, right? So we've talked about this uh last time. So online interactions have impact, and these impacts can either be positive or it can also be negative if negative. So what are the positive effects of online interaction? So naman kay Juan, we have to admit that being online has its perks, right? And the first perk is that it results in a feeling of emotional closeness. So it doesn't widen the gap, but rather it closes the gap between perhaps you and your family member, katong naa sa gawas, or a friend who is not in Cebu City. Okay, so you can also have emotional closeness, uh, even with the distance. So with that, your online interactions also help reduce feelings of being lonely. Being lonely. So you can, especially makarelate man tani during pandemic, no? Diba, we are locked inside our houses. And how did we survive? By constantly interacting online. And it really helped. You have to admit that it really helped. It reduced our feelings of loneliness. Next, it enhances communication. You can adjust better socially, and it can also help you with your well-being. So na mga benefits ani online interactions. However, on the other side, online interactions can also have adverse effects on the self. Okay, especially in the adolescents, the younger ones, and they experience misunderstandings. Okay, unwanted contact. So na unwanted contact. Kasuway mo, guys, nga naaray mo message ninyo nga wa mo kaila. By the way, if you can, please turn on your cameras. Camera man ni Mark o naka-on din he. It's not too conducive to discuss. Ako rin tao. If possible, guys, please turn on your camera. Hi, Joshua, you're back. How was your campaigning? Daog na, Joshua? Okay. Wala pa? Okay. So, di ba better if you turn on your cameras? Ako rin naglihok lagi. Thank you for turning on your cameras. So, saan sa 'tong question, guys, kasuhan mo unwanted contacts na suddenly na mo text or na mo PM niyo a total stranger, nga mo like, "Hi, wanna be friends?" Try mo ana, oh. Okay, how did you react? Ni-reply sad mo? Wala, of course. It's safer not to reply. It's safer to delete that actually. Okay? Oh, block. Correct, Angel. Okay? No. Yeah, sa networking ay daghan kaayo nga kana nga yung mata ng buntag mo siya nga you have a chance to win 100,000, please click this link. Lagot daghan kay na every day. Okay? So unwanted contact, and kita fortunately we are much more in a stable state of mind nga kaya ba we know what to do. However, this can be untrue for younger ones. As early as grade 4, grade 5, grade 6 na may mga cellphones. Yung kani sila mga they are very vulnerable young people who can be taken advantage of. Dahil mo text nila, mo reply dayon. Ay mo uban ana. So of course, it's dangerous. They can also experience online meanness or even cyberbullying. Third, also online interactions can pose a risks when it comes to unintended disclosure of information. Kanang sometimes people post status updates or photos or even send emails or texts without much thinking. Anong wag ginuhuna ba? Only to regret it later. Okay? And then you forget or they forget about the post. And take note, your posts are likely to remain online. Okay? Certain forms of online interactions may also put a person at risk at depression. Nga naman, makadepress din na say online. In what way? In what way, guys? In what way? That's why mo, especially the younger ones. In what way? Kanang example, uh, madlang mo sa mga friends or mga other people online. And then makakita mo ng nagbakasyon sila, vacation, or nag-happy-happy. And then or nagpalit sila bagong sinina or bagong phone or bagong butang. And sometimes, of course, we can't help but compare, right? Makang-compare ko lang, may pa sila nakabakasyon, may pa siya nakapalit ana, may pa siya. So in one way or another, that triggers those negative emotions, and it may at worst it will lead to depression. This is may what is happening? May mga questions sila mga their life is like that. They're very happy. How about my life? So there's now a point of comparison. Maka-compare na noon ka. So muna, okay, muna sometimes online interactions may put a person at risk of depression. But note guys, not everything you see on your social media are true. Okay, not everything is true. And ironically, kanang sige post nga happy sila, okay, nga naa sila ginaas sila ani, ironically in real life, that's the total opposite. 'Di ba? Actually, happy people do not post their happiness online. Real happiness are not posted online. They are shared with private people. Because once you post it online, mawa ang significance, actually. Okay? Third, sa may mga adverse effects sa online interaction. Frequent use of the internet could displace physical interactions with family and friends. So you have probably noticed this when people who are dining together or on a vacation are busy with their phones instead of interacting with one another face to face. So people are becoming more and more distracted by constant engagement with their digital selves. Instead ka makig-communicate, maki-interact sa kinsay naa dinha at present, imong focus na noon nga naa na sa imong online self. The reason probably could be what researchers have referred to as internet addiction. Mahimo na tag mga cyber addicts. Okay? So mga manifestation ani like for example kana mga players, online players, yeah, you play longer than in the intended duration. Okay? Or you stay online, sige lang kag online sila, sige lang kag engage in social online behavior despite knowing that you should not be doing it. May who here kana 'di ba ka naka-notice ta ka if mahabil na mawa ang phone, murag sag mawad-an atong kuan sense of self. Di ta mabuhi nga walay phone, di ka mo ba mahabil na yung phone na namo sa school. Ya, naka-notice mo wa yung phone. Have you ever experienced that? Nga something is missing. Dasal mi sa'yo, okay? Unsa din na, unsa di, eh. Oh, nahabilin ng phone, di mahimutang, ano ka ran, oh, nahabilin ng phone, dili kuana, at first, kasuway sad ko nga, lain nag-unsa kada day siya miss akong gipa-deliver akong phone, kung ano siya nahabilin sa mua ko. Hala you cannot survive without your phone nga pila lang ka hours. Dili yung ipa-deliver kay nahabilin na iyang phone. So, ikaw na, di siya mabuhi nga way phone, right? Kung nanay may ana ba, unfortunately, this is the effect of those things. So, how frequent are you in social media? Ingon sila nga, survey shows that Filipinos daw, okay, sent 400 billion text messages every day. And we are known as the texting capital of the world. Oh my God, texting capital, good ta. And we spend 4.17, an average na average of 4.17 hours on social media. Na unsa mga social media ang pinakasikat para sa Pinoy? Facebook, okay? Followed by Facebook Messenger. So that is why I think it's I'm giving you this one, the 12 commandments of texting etiquette. So na texting etiquette, guys. Okay, kani first and foremost, first commandment, thou shalt not ghost. Ghosting. Kasi next experience ani, ghosting. Thou shalt not ghost, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ghosting is, unsa nang ghosting is the practice of suddenly withdrawing or all communication without even saying goodbye. Nag-ghost na siya. Okay? So, number one, good na, thou shall not ghost. Mm, diba? So, number two, thou shall not be impatient. Nga naman, kay kita man gud, generation nowadays, for my personal observation ha, nga we become very impatient kan di ka replyan, bantay ka, dili mo reply sa reaction, sa puton, ma-annoyed. Ang ending kay sige na nung kag-text, ang text mo gyud reply, kalima reply. Kinsay kasuway ana be, reply. I-bombard na noon ang imong gi-textan ngano di ka mo-reply, asig tawag, 10 missed calls, 16 missed calls. Kung di ka kabaw ka guys, no response is a big response. Ha? Remember that ha? No response is a response actually. Okay? Stick that into your head. No response is a is a response. So ayaw mamugos. So you should not be impatient. Okay? Kaya kita man gud kanang we live in a culture of instant gratification. Kailangan ka, mo text ko, kailangan mo reply ka dayon. Oh, ikaw na lang replyan dayon. Okay? Ingana mo ta. Ingana tong culture karon. We crave instant responses. Okay? So, thou shall not be impatient. Number three, thou shall not text an essay. Okay. O ba ito gitawag? Unsa na ba? Unsa kay meaning sa SMS? Short messaging services. Short. Okay? Short, di ba? Concise. So, therefore, if a longer message is required, perhaps an email or a call is more appropriate. Okay? Save your essays for your class. Okay? So, thou shalt not text an essay. Next, thou shalt not text at unsociable hours. Kaban kay ka na katugod na kay ka na mo ting ting mo kay makadobe kag ting kay automatic bitaw kuha sa phone. Automatic ba mo browse dayon. May na lang mobasa ra sa text, naikuha sa phone, mo-update din sila yung social media account. And then nag-update na to, dugay na nung katong. So, I think that's kuan. Oh, mohapit pag yung TikTok, sakto na siya Kimberly. Mohapit pag yun na siya TikTok. Okay? So, other than that, ang blue light ko na sa tong phone not only disrupts our sleep cycle, but it leads to lower quality of rests. and then when we return to sleep. So before you forward your latest gossip or about your colleague, or pause and consider your recipient's situation. Okay. Next one, the now number five. Kasi makarelates number five, guys. Commandment number five. Anyone? Okay, the now number five, ladies and gentlemen. Thou shalt not send a K text. Sa tanang letters sa alphabet, guys, no, murag mo na ang pinaka annoying. Task kasi sige text, sige text. Ang reply kay K. Okay? Oh, ang mga teachers man gud, guys, kay busy mo ko ng teachers. Kalaghan ninyo imagine ang teachers pila gud mo kabuk 40 na mo daan sa usa ka klase. Imagine ang maestra na 8 ka mo klase. 8 times 40 pila man na ka estudyante? 40 times 8. Be, you do the math. Oh. Na uban teachers na very busy. You have to understand also. But of course, in personal na itong mga messages lang, kung puwede, mas taas-taas sa K. Kung puwede gani butangan na lang kung ganahan mong K ra gid ang inyong i-reply, butangin na lang emojis para mas happy, 'di ba? Kaysa K ra gid imong reply. Oh, kanang mapugos og smile. Kaya naman gyud uban sometimes di ta kabaw sa pag-reply. Bantay mo na. Ay gi mag wa kabaon sa i-reply ay i-reply kay emojis or GIFs or pictures. Mo man na. Okay. Next, number six, thou shall be explicit. Kasi pasabot na ako ano si thou shall be explicit. Meaning, explain, be clear. Ayun nga si Carmela, okay. Be clear. That's what I meant by being explicit. Yes, one of the most common causes of miscommunication is that kanang mga messages nato nga no clear context. Okay? And take note, wala ba audio visual cues ang online? 'Di ba? We don't have our body language. Our body languages, our facial expressions are absent online. So you only have your words or your emojis to speak for you. So be clear on your messages. Okay? Do not be too vague. An example ng K. Mga unta? K. Saan mga unta? Di. Kanang ano ba? Mukuyog ka? Ah, busog na ka? Gutom pa ka? K. Ang reply. Ang maglakot ka. Be clear. Okay? Be clear on your messages. Next, thou shall use emoji appropriately, lady ha? Kani. Kay kanang nami uban nga emojis is emoji is often misunderstood. Namo kay different emoji fonts. For example, we have to know that all emojis are not equal. Kabantay mo? Okay? Kaya sa iPhone versus Android device, 'di ba lahi ang emojis sa Android o sa iPhone? O kana. Okay? And these emojis could lead to different interpretations. Okay? So use emojis appropriately. Number 8, thou shall check spelling, grammar, or autocorrect. That like what sa may pasabot na why I don't know what that meant, Mark. Ano, init ka is gawas? Mo na siya pasabot, Mark. Sa yung emoji. I don't know. Sa pasabot na yun, okay ko kabaw sa pasabot ana. Are you angry? Are you feeling the heat of the sun, Mark? Oh, kana. See? So that's what I meant. I'm not sure gani o kana emojis ni Mark. Para na ko na sa man siya suko or initan. Oh, see? Number 8, thou shalt check grammar. I think this is very understandable. Okay? Next, in relation to emojis, thou shall not overuse abbreviations. Anong LOL din he. Ba LOL kay usa minis LOL gani guys? Laughing out loud. Pero pwede man sa lots of love, 'di ba? So again, do not overuse abbreviations. Do not abuse and misuse abbreviations. Okay? Commandment number 10. Thou shalt only text when in a clear state of mind. Ah, Ayaw patakag kuan, text, especially if you are not on a clear state. If naglagot ka, if nasuko ka or na-sad ka, ayaw text. Palayo. Drunk text kana siya there. Drunk text. Have you ever texting confessing your feelings to your crush? Ah, patay. Mo na siya giningon. The embarrassment you hold the day after tomorrow, the day after. Mm. And then, kani, in relation to that, thou shalt not text accidentally on purpose. I sorry, wrong send. Wrong send. Sure, kind wrong send. Okay, wrong send. Yeah, and they get what's up? And they, sorry. Uh, and then lastly, thou shalt not text bad news. Okay? Thou shalt not text bad news. So bad news is always hard to digest. Okay? So you may not know, you have to take into account what your recipient may be doing at that time. For example, nag-drive day siya. Hindi mo textan og bad news. Unsa man siya, if nag-drive siya, wa na ba, aksidente. Ikaw pa isa. So do not text bad news. It can lead to fatal consequences. Example, break up. Ay, break up through text. I think this is not working well. Let's break up. Oh, text. Luis, ng text. Nag-break up ka sa text lang. It's not you, it's me. Ang kanang mga linyaha can break. Smugin na mga linyaha. Okay? Especially, kanang about death. Do not text death. Okay? This is because bad news has greater effect on our emotional and psychological states than positive or neutral news. Okay, ayutang texting nga may namatay text. Tawag or better face to face. Okay? So those are the 12 commandments of texting etiquettes. I hope that you more or less you follow these 12 commandments, huh? Okay. So basically, okay. So all in all, how do we manage our online persona? How do we manage our online image? There's a few things that you can do to manage your online presentation. First, think before you leave any digital trace. I've said it many times. Okay, this is the single most important tip you have to ask yourself. Is this really worth? Is this really something that I need to post? Is this really something I need to share or send on the internet? So always remember that what you post leaves a digital footprint online. You may delete your post, but it is not actually gone virtually. Some people may have captured it or captured a copy of it. And you do not want to have an online photo of you that will haunt you in the future. Before sending a reply, for example, na-text mo or na-message nimo nga very, very insensitive or very malicious. So before sending a reply to a confrontational message or to a conversation about gossiping about somebody, consider first. So think twice before you hit the send or post button. Second, limit access to your digital self. If you really want to express yourself through your social media accounts, the very least that you can do, guys, is to restrict access to your digital self to a circle of your trusted friends. Ayaw kayo i-public in your account. This way, you will have a higher level of certainty that your digital self are in safe hands. Third, beware of ano wala kaning daghan kay ni sa text. Ano mo text lang kalit may mungko nga asa man siya kuhag number nako eh. Bantay mo ana. May mo text nimo nga kanang casino, kanang click this link, free lang. Okay? So beware of these unreliable sites or suspicious transactions. You should ensure data security when it comes to handling your digital profile. Okay? Because your data online can be used to create a fake or poster accounts. Okay? And this can be used in illegal or unbecoming transactions. So in order to avoid these things, make sure you do not give out your data unnecessarily. Ayo to kuan Halimbawa inyong birth date, inyong mga address, ayaw to i-post sa social media guys, asa mo napuyo. Your ID numbers, your account numbers, your credit card numbers, ayaw taon. Ha? Keep it private. Next, balance your engagement of your digital self. Okay? So, naman yung positive ag negative effect, no? But of course, balance lang. Okay, balance your least effects. Okay? Now, last one, be a responsible member of the online social network. Masabat ano yun, masabat na be a responsible member. Kanang proliferation of fake news. Kana, be responsible. Ayaw, dun, you have to activate your sense of responsibility in your digital self by not continuing the spread of misinformation. So before you spread it out, before you forward it, make sure that you are able to verify the source. Okay? So you have to be a responsible digital citizen or netizen. Okay? Read more hard and verifiable sources. Be able to distinguish reliable sources of hard news and then think twice first before sharing or posting an article. Because if you're not sure about its authenticity, ayaw taon i-share or i-post or i-forward. So these tips actually will help your digital self achieve more. Okay? In summary, no, netiquette lang before you end this one. Okay, the do's. Online, you should do these. Treat others the same way you would like to be treated. Respect the privacy of others, especially now that online interaction is the prevalent way of communicating. Keep written communication short and to the point. Do not waste other people's time. Make your written communication easy to read and appropriate. And again, obey copyright laws. Remember that written words can be stored and retrieved later, so even if you delete them, think carefully about what you're writing. Keep in mind that humor and sarcasm may be difficult to interpret over the net, so be careful not to offend anyone. Don'ts: do not abuse your power, do not insult others or use foul language. Do not send spam. Do not, kani, or may gid ko maka-receive ani sa students. Do not write in all uppercase because it may look like you're shouting. Okay? And above all, do not provide your username or password to anyone else. Do not initiate or provoke flame wars. Unsa may mga flame wars? These are emotional arguments uh, on the internet. You get caps lock to that massage. Yeah. Yes, Louis. Okay? Nag-email na ko in all caps. Okay? The first thing I replied is this one. Ako sa siyang kuan gi-replyan og how to do emails. Okay? Oh. And then most importantly, do not post anything about anyone else on the internet without their permission. Okay, guys, pwede kayo mo makihab yung libel. Ha, careful mo ana. So to summarize everything, the advent indeed of technology has heralded several ways of communicating. And this prevalent mode of communication nowadays have an impact on ourselves, our digital stuff. So we have to know how to use it in a positive way and make and to our advantage and make sure you do not put anyone else at a disadvantage. So in short, we have to have a responsible use of our virtual platforms because our digital footprints will linger on the web na forever, guys. Meron forever. Okay? So that's it for digital self. Do you have any questions so far before we move into the material self, ladies and gentlemen? No questions so far? Sige, last na lang yun yung material self, guys. Okay? Wala na. Okay. Wala questions? Okay. Let's proceed to material self. Where is my PowerPoint? So, there you are. So 20 minutes na siya, don't worry. Okay. So ganun material self, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, tanawan ni siya. I shop, therefore I am. I have, therefore I am. Kang kinsa kani nga philosophy? Gikan? Kang kinsa if you remember whose philosopher is that? Kinsa kinamdam pa mo guys? Kinsa na nga philosophy okay, si Rene Descartes. Okay? So gikan na didto. So perhaps this line, the simple line, I shop therefore I am, I have therefore I am, actually describes what material self is all about. And nag-start sa siya, I think you're familiar with this man, ni William James. Kailan mong William James, no? Nani siya, na-discuss na to sa atong previous topics. William James. Okay, so William James is the one who also uh, categorized this aspect of the self. Say na kung ano yung material self. Ngun siya nga, our material self is everything that we label as mine. Okay? Anything that we evoke emotional feelings to. For example, the things that we own, my book, my pen, my phone. Okay? Pwede sa experiences. Okay? My birthday. Okay? My Christmas vacation. Okay? Everything that evoke emotional feelings to can be part of our material self. So we regard our possessions as part of ourselves. So meaning we are what we have and what we possess. So this is the concept introduced by William James. Mo na siya, giingon niya, anything that we own daw, anything that we have becomes a part of us as long as that is something that we evoke emotions to. Okay? So in short, as what William James, gikan ni siya ni William James, William James says that a man's self is the sum total of what he can call his, not only his body, but also his clothes, his house, his wife or family, his ancestors and friends, his reputation and works, his lands, his horses, his yacht, and bank account. Everything that is his is also known as the extended version of himself, which is considered as the material self. Okay? Material self. And uh, the material self now is composed of, and the innermost part is the body. Then followed by clothes. Next is the immediate family, and then home. So why are we affected by these elements? Because we are affected by the things we have in our lives because we have naka-investment ta ana. Okay? And these investments may come in forms of like time. We spend time for that. We spend our effort. Okay? We spend money on that. We spend our experiences with that. Let's start with, of course, our body. Okay? Our body is the innermost part of the materials in each of us. So according to William James, the core of the material self is the body. So your body is your possession. Nagiuban ka ba most mga other celebrities today? Kanang ipa-insure ang parts lang body. Anyone who knows that? Kasi, for example, I'm not sure if a company, Mariah Carey. Di ba Mariah Carey is known for her beautiful legs. Kabawa mo nga, gipa-insure na ni Mariah Carey ang legs. Yan ang gipa-insure. Ang kang American Ferrer, kanang nagda sa Ugly Betty, yung gipa-insure iyang teeth. Nga na ka mga dato sila. Kaya gipa-insure gud nila ilang body parts. Right? So, second to the body, okay, is the person's loads. Loads is a form of self-expression. Am I right? Di ba natay atong own style. We choose our own clothes. Nga kani siya ganahan ko ani kani siya ganahan ko nga partner ni silang duhang. So it's our own decision. Nga naman because it's part of who we are. Our clothes is a way to express our identity. We choose and wear clothes that reflect ourselves. And clothes were one way they express who they felt and who they were. So in short, clothes is also one of the many ways to show status. Ana, I'm wearing Chanel. I'm wearing Louis. Kani mga I'm wearing Michael Kors. Bantay mo ana. Ah, Michael Kors ang shoes, ang bag kay Chanel, ang sinina kay unsa man Gucci, ang pitaka kay Lacoste, mahal kayong pitaka sa Lacoste ha. Okay? So kana. So it's a way also to show status. Thus, clothes also contribute to forming and maintaining our self-image. Next to body and clothes, sa susunod, si family. Of course, okay, our immediate family influences who we are. Di yun na malikayan, guys. Our families and our uh which we have the fondest memories of, are also considered as extensions of ourselves. Our parents or siblings hold the most important part of ourselves. Okay? So, being the consistent social component in our lives, it is natural for us to have an impeccable emotional attachment and investment to our family members. Okay? So, kabantay mo, what they do become affects us. For example, when a family member dies, a part of us also dies. When they become successful, we also feel their victories. We share their failures, we also share their happiness. Okay? So, next is the home. Home is where the heart is. So, mo ni siyang, this is where our earliest and fondest memories of self discovery start. It is a place where our memories growing up are witnessed. So it's the extension of the multiple versions of ourselves. So it is the earliest nest of our selfhood, kind of home. Our experiences inside our homes are recorded or marked on particular parts of and things in our home. So part yap na ang home. Okay? So now I want you to reflect. Aside from people, if na mga emergency, what are the things you would save first in emergency cases? Eh, gapon, kuan man ta, nag-fire drill ba gapon? Di ba, na-fire drill gapon? Imagine, if naisunog, what's the very first thing that you will save? Excluded na ng mga tao. Okay, type it in the chat box. What's the first thing that you will save in cases of emergency? Ano yung mga things that you would save, guys? Important documents, according to Risha. What else? How about the others? Food, food gyud Joshua? Igutom na ni si Joshua. Sige, lapit na naman ni Joshua. Kaya cellphones, okay. Oh, parents, but aside from, aside from, uh, humans, first aid, emergency money, yes, Cassandra. Isa pa, how about the rest? Next question. What factors would you consider in choosing which to save? And what reasons do you have for saving your identified items? My basic calculator, because, di ba? May basic calculator. Because Rainer Shane accountancy pa rin. Okay, so what reasons do you have for saving your identified items? Importance and how they would help me survive, right? Okay, so now each one of us have different reasons for choosing to save particular items, di ba? So mo na siya ginaingon nga psychological ownership. So man ang psychological ownership? Psychological ownership daw, when it comes to psychological ownership, it's not the physical entities themselves, however, that comprise the material self, but rather it is our psychological ownership of them. So what is that? Okay, the physical, tangible objects we own do not literally become a part of who we are, but it is our psychological ownership of things we own which evoke emotion that makes our material self, not the physical ownership. Okay? So, kabantay mo kanang na may mga favorite item ba, mga sentimental values or favorite item. Now, for example, address. Sa karaan na ka-address, may mga favorite pwede gini ilabay kay na sentimental value. So, kani isa. So, it's difficult to let go because of your psychological value to it. Because it may evoke perhaps good memories or perhaps it's important part of your life. Okay. So with this one, if you notice, um, when we buy something, okay, people are likely to purchase products now that can relate to their personality. So our sense of self and identity is influential on how an individual chooses to purchase his or her wants and how he or she make economic decisions that will address his or her personal and social needs. So that decision that go into the purchase of items and certain services, it's dependent on a number of factors. And take note that kanida, possessions, the things that we own tell a lot about their owners. Agree? Do you agree with this one? Possessions tell a lot about their owners. So, unsa may what are the determining factors ngano mo palit ta ang item? First of all, is the wants. And wants that are synonymous with luxuries. People buy them for reasons that do not warrant necessity. Second, it's because of needs. These are important for survival. Example, food, clothing, shelter. Okay, we purchase them out of necessity. But unsa may consider nato to buy these things? There are ingon sila to sum it all ko no, nara ko nalas tulo kabutang. When we buy something, okay, aside from price, apil mo ginang price no. Okay, ang when you buy something, aside from price, na ko to look at things na people consider when buying items. First, unsay gamit niya? Utility. Unsay practical purpose? For example, naka cellphone na. Kaya ganahan man kag na ikaduha nga cellphone, unsay gamit sa ikaduha? Kasi na duha ka cellphone din him eh. Who has two cell phones? I myself uh, have um hard time maintaining my own cell phone. Di kay ko tig cellphone gani. Na kay di kay ko tig reply. That's what I mean. So more than, maintaining two cell phones, it's a purpose. So that's the first thing that people consider now. Okay? Utility. Second, significance. It's concerned with the meaning. Kasi meaning that we assign to it. Okay? Para sa okay. So remember, kunyari is Carmela na, right? Para sa other person daw. Okay? Oh, mm. Significance. Ah, two devices para sa CA exam. Ka na. Kamo. Okay, para na sa CA exam. Ano sa CA exam, guys? What's CA exam? Cost accounting? Ah, okay. Kana lagi nakailan na kukuha na kay I've been handling kuan accountancy many times, cost accounting. Kita gid kong mga libro, cost accounting. Okay. Kailangan makita daw ang kamot. Yeah. Yeah. Ana, I heard horror stories about that. Di na lang ko mo-share kay mas kuan mo ma-terrorize mo sa mot ana. Okay. Next ko no, third thing that people consider is conformity. Ay, palit ko ana para ma-in ko. Hmm. Ganahan ko ani kay mo may ganahan sa akong friends. Conformity man daw. Okay, our conformity daw changes. Okay, there's conformity when one changes one's purchasing preferences so that we can, in order to match the preferences of others. For example, ng mga bata, kanang you buy certain, mukuha ka na nga certain artist mo sa term na sa taas pa mo follow ba ka na nga certain artist sa Spotify ba? Sa term ngayon na guys. Sige ko di Spotify mo follow ka ng certain aspect, mo palit ka na nga certain kanta because this is what your friends like. It will make them a part of the crowd. So you want to conform. So these are the things that people consider when you purchase items. Okay? So muna, to sum it all, this is what is known as consumer culture. So ng consumer culture. So the concept of yes, lagi. Material culture where our values, attitudes, behaviors, and activities are defined by our ability to consume goods and services. So, kana daw, ingon sila nga our ability to consume certain goods and services tells something about our status in society. Meaning, if we can afford it, we can live with it. Without purchasing power, of course, we cannot experience it. And therefore, it cannot be a part of who we are. Right? Amo daw ni. So there may be social, functional, and economic factors to consider when we purchase something. These factors influence our purchasing decisions, and that is the theory of consumer culture. Our ability to consume certain goods and services will tell us something about, will tell you about something about our status in society. Okay. So consumer culture reflects who we are depending on what we can afford to buy for ourselves and call our own. Mona, okay, to add, okay, it shows the power to determine the parameters within which individuals of a consumer society can live with their everyday lives. This shows that consumer culture reflects um who we are depending on what we can afford to buy and has the power to determine the parameters within which we can live in this consumer society. Okay. So it goes now to advertisements. How do you think advertisements influence us as consumers? Be Saman, how does ads influence us as consumers? Be in what way? Labsag mahal kayo paliton kay atong favorite artist is the one do kuan is the model. Unday mo ana, right? Karon daw kan nausab na daw. Hmm. So advertising and mass media, we know that advertising is about communicating to encourage consumption of commercial goods and services based on what people want and need. And mass media is the link to it. It's a contributory to advertising and shaping behavior, purchasing behavior, since these provides ways to communicate. Karon na natin gitawag nga social media influencers. Okay? And consumers karon they change. They change. Example, the use of celebrities or as product endorsers will have an influence on some consumers. Now, palit ta ani because of the celebrities rather than the product itself. So karon daw, our material self will no longer make acquisition of objects or items based on direct satisfaction but on image and status. True or not? It's true. So it appears that the influence to conform to purchasing norms of the immediate family, community, and what is projected by media indicates the purchasing decisions of the material self are made now in social contexts. Okay, so we become more materialistic because of consumer culture. And now, so how do we manage our material self? First and foremost, we reduce materialism. Okay, how do we reduce materialism? First, instead of setting external goals, you set intrinsic life goals. Because material goals are linked to extrinsic goals. So you should switch to intrinsic life goals. Because materialism leads to lower levels of happiness and lower levels of good well-being. Next, be minimalistic, guys. Mm-hmm. Note that consuming more does not necessarily lead to happiness. So be minimalistic. Only what do I mean by being minimalistic? Okay, buy and keep only important things which can simplify your life. Okay, so be minimalistic. Do not do not yield to unnecessary consumptions. Be minimalistic. Less is more. Mana siya, less is more. Third, utility. As I've said, utility is one of the basic principles in determining whether you want to buy something or not. So if the material is truly useful, if useful good siya, nga kailangan gyud siya, need gyud siya, then buy it. But if not, reconsider it. Think twice. Next is simplicity. Simplicity is another good criterion. Example, In a month, kailangan naka-10 ka 10 presentable outfit to wear to work or university and school. Then resist the urge to shop for more items. Dili isig palit og bag-ong outfit. Ano na, outfit of the day. OOTD. Dili mag-outfit of the day every day. Nga in a in a 30 days miss ko man 20 days a week na ako sa school. Kailangan lahi-lahi akong outfit. Kailangan di mabalik. Dili be practical. Okay, next, financial capacity. You should live only within your means. So, for example, when you have limited student allowance, yeah, it's good a decision to have meals regularly at an, kind of mga budget friendly meal. Okay, live within your means. So to summarize everything, okay, material stuff is an aspect that relates to things that we own, that we label as mine. It can be our bodies, our clothes, our families, or our homes. So material stuff is more on psychological ownership. It's not really based on the physical items, but it's based on psychological ownership. So, but this psychological ownership is also, influenced by the culture of consumerism. Okay, our values, our attitudes, our behaviors, our ability to consume goods and services, mo na siya naka-affect. And this is also contributed by advertising. Na mga major advertising and mass media have roles on this kind of culture. So, how do we then manage our material stuff? It is important to look not only what we want, but what's good for us when we try to improve our material stuff. So, how then can we improve our material stuff? By moving away from, again, materialism. How do we improve our, move away from materialism? Sa to base, set intrinsic goals. Okay. Next, be minimalistic. Third, utility, simplicity, and consider your financial capacity. Okay, so that would be all. Any questions so far? Questions? Ladies and gentlemen, wala na. So, on Friday, dili na ko mag-discuss. Mag-activity na lang ta. We do less stress. Okay, activity-based na lang ta on Friday. So, we are done actually. I haven't yet published the material on material stuff. Sige, this week, I will publish this one on Canvas. Okay, so that if there are no other questions, that would be all for this morning. I'll see you on Friday for our activity on the digital self and material self. Okay, so wala questions, guys? Wala. Sige, so thank you and see you on Friday. Bye bye.
Goodbye
Goodbye
and
and
thank
thank
you.